Good girl. When I got her, she's always had a very good walk. She has a very expressive trot when she gets going, sometimes too much so. But the canter is something I had to work on. She had sometimes too much behind and she wasn't quite able to come out the shoulder so much in canter, and I've been working a lot on the quality of her canter through transitions, through counter canter, through bringing her back and forwards in canter, and I'm really pleased with how that's developing actually. Good girl. She's prone to grunt in a flying chain, so if you hear an odd noise, it's not me, it's her. Good girl. Ooh. Good girl. So I'm pretty happy with how she's feeling. She's quite relaxed. She doesn't seem to be bothered by everything else around her at all, which is nice. That's a really good thing about her, is what I get at home, I get in the ring. If she's hot in work at home, it's the same in the ring. She's never worse somewhere else. So anything that I have to work on with her, I can practice the same at home as I have to at a show. So it's always a good quality in a horse. Horses that are completely different at a show to what they're like at home, it's a lot harder to sort out and to practice with. She's a horse that starts quite relaxed, and it's actually the work and the pressure of work that gets her riled and a bit hot sometimes. So with her, I often give her a lot of breaks. Sometimes I even have to come back to halt and wait for her to take a deep breath before I continue doing what I'm doing. Because with Minnie, it's all in the mind, and if I don't get inside her head and sort of get her to relax and let me in, then things are very, very difficult for us. If I have a chance to stop and let her take a deep breath and get her to relax, then things become quite easy. Sadly, in the tests, I can't tell the judges that I just need a minute, which sometimes I'd quite like to do on her. Okay, come on, trot on. So I start with quite a gentle trot, a little bit of shoulder in each way. Good girl. And I let the work gradually build the trot up, and the work build up the frame, rather than suddenly deciding, right, now she's got to trot big and up. I just let the way I work her sort of progress that gradually. Good girl. Good girl. So I do a bit of shoulder and travel that way, go on the other rein, same thing the other way. All part of just suppling her up behind the saddle, making sure she's accepting the aids. Good girl, Minnie. Little half halts. And out. So despite the fact that she's got a very active hind leg, she's got very long legs. So it's still important that I make sure that I don't just rely on the fact that the hind legs are moving. I have to make sure I start to get them underneath me a bit more. Good girl. Bit of traver this way. Keep her on my outside rein. And keep going. Good girl. And with her, sometimes if I ask for something, it takes 3-4 seconds before what I ask for happens, before it translates. And it's really important that I just give her a chance and wait for her reaction. If I reprimand her too quickly, she gets in a bit of a state and takes everything quite personally. Good girl. She's a real prima donna, nothing like myself. Good girl. And now I go into a half pass. Start with the front end, bring her over, steady, good girl. Make sure I finish with the quarters over the other side so that I never have a problem of quarters leading at the end. Good girl. Steady. Good girl. Right, now that felt good. I'm going to preempt her getting too hot and give her a little break rising trot before I pick her up again. I could quite easily carry on now doing more trot work, but because I know her, I know that that might just be that moment too long where she starts to get upset and worried. Good girl. Doing a bit of, you know, preparing her here for the Priest and Jordan into one. Haven't done so much of this stuff recently, so she's allowed to be confused. It's just about sitting quietly and letting her get her brain and her legs sorted. I know, good girl. So for me, it's just important that the engine keeps going behind and that she stays quick behind, and this is my tool for just getting her to shorten and come in a slightly more uphill frame. Good girl, Minnie. Good girl. Steady. Good girl. I allow her forwards. I don't bring her right back. I don't want her on the spot. I don't want to over-challenge her. I want her to build up the strength she needs so that gradually over the next couple of months the steps become shorter and the quantity increases. But if I ask too much too quickly, good girl, she'll get stuck in her brain, she'll get upset. Good girl. Oops. And this seems to be the harder rein. Good girl. Right, let's do that again. It's quite a serious feat of multitasking here. I'm trying to ride twos and talking. I don't want to make excuses, but it's quite difficult. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'll do that. Steady, steady, steady. And 1, 2, 3. Oh, good girl. I stop at 4 because that's the max I've done, and my dad will have